Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck. I teach parenting, family relationships, communications all over the world. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what does self-government mean in child discipline. Before we can understand what self-government means in child discipline, we need to understand self-government just a little bit. And then we need to see how self-government principles can be used in the disciplining of children. And I just want you to know that self-government principles are wonderful at changing the heart of a child. So if you don't just want basic self-discipline, but you want your child to have a total transformation of the heart, then you're in the right place. So let's begin with self-government. What is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. That sounds pretty mature, right? I mean, how many children are fully ready for all of that? What that means is that a person understands cause and effect in most all situations and has a good knowledge of themselves and how they behave in situations so that they can control themselves. Well, you are right. It's a mature skill, but learning self-government starts when a person is young. Sure, the prefrontal cortex of the brain is not fully developed until a person is between the ages of 18 and 25 years old, but that doesn't mean that we just abandon any thoughts of self-control. On the contrary, the sooner that a person learns that they can be in control of themselves and regulate themselves toward calmness and connection, instead of toward anger and frustration, then we can help that person mature quicker and they can have better relationships earlier. As you might have gathered from that definition, self-government is something that actually has to be taught to a person. Sure, somebody could randomly decide that they learn how to control themselves in one way or another, but usually when a person fully finds the freedom of self-government, it's something that is taught on purpose by their parent. It's usually part of their upbringing or hardwiring. So how do we hardwire our children to have self-government? Well, that's what I'd like to talk about. First off, parents have to have a good plan. So I know that sometimes we feel like, how can we be prepared for everything? And surely it seems like there's no way to be prepared for absolutely everything. But if you look at all the problems that might come your way as a family, you'll soon recognize that those problems fall into key categories, such as frustration or not being understood, disagreeing with another person, having negative effects or bad outcomes to certain behaviors, making unwise decisions, fill in the blank. You can come up with some key categories that all those things that might ever happen could fall into, and you can prepare for the categories in general. So in our family, we've done some key things to prepare. One thing that we've done is we've taught our children the skills that they need for communication and success. So they know 4 basic skills like following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. They also know the way that we will communicate with them, that we will correct them in a certain way that's calm and understanding. That's right. In order to create an environment where a person learns self-government, it's best done in calmness. So the tone of your home, the tone of your relationships really does matter in conveying the truth of principle, which is what self-government is, a principle, to your child. You need a certain kind of a tone and a certain kind of a structure. Those skills are part of the structure. We also have family meetings and times where we gather together to discuss how we're doing as a family. And we have a family vision, a picture of who we're becoming as the Peck family. So these are all structural elements that help us keep going in the right direction. Before I get into my next points, hit the subscribe button on this channel. You are not going to want to miss all of the great teaching that relates to self-government that I put out every single day. Hit the subscribe now. In order to help a child learn self-government, they have to have an environment that is open to analysis. Now, many environments, even families, are not open to acknowledging when they might have misbehaved or done things that in a way that is not good for family relationships. Many people sweep those things under the rug. But what you should do is you should be open to discussing what happened, what should have happened, and even open to negative consequences so that the person gets the opportunity to learn cause and effect. That's right, earning negative consequences is actually an opportunity. It's actually merciful because you're teaching the child how to self-correct, how to acknowledge when bad things might happen in their future life. In order for them to be self-governing for the long term, they need to practice acknowledging cause and effect in the short term so that it never leaves their mind. When children leave their home, they remember, what did mom and dad say about this? What experience do I have with this? Well, you training them to govern themselves in your home, to communicate with calmness, with love and understanding, but also with the courage to do the hard work that needs to be done when it's time, will train them to be that type of an adult as well. When many people think of self-government in relation to children, they think, oh, does this mean that the children just control themselves completely? That the parents don't have to do anything? I mean, that sounds pretty nice, I guess, but that's not how children are made. Children need guidance, teaching, and direction. So what we need to embrace as their parents is we need to embrace that it is our job to do the teaching and correcting, to make sure that they stay on the course of self-government so that then it becomes a habit for their later lives. In order to create this type of environment where a child can learn self-government and feel inspired to embrace whatever discipline measures the parents think are needed in order to teach that self-government, there needs to be a strong family bond, a good connection. So it is important that everything starts with that in the family. Your family should feel like home is the safest place to make mistakes, that the people around them understand that nobody is perfect and that mistakes happen, but they can be talked about and problems can be solved in a way that's liberating instead of feeling oppressive. So when we bond with our children, we make an effort to talk to them regularly, then our children will have greater success, and so will we. Our children's hearts truly can change through self-government and through the ways that we teach and correct them, which are part of their discipline. If you have enjoyed this video about self-discipline and self-government, I'm pretty sure that you're going to love the next video, which is called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. The Expectation Trap video is a full class that I'm sharing with everybody online so that they can better manage themselves, their emotions in those times that seem to be the most difficult. Go ahead and click on the link to The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success now, and I'll see you there.